met Deepinder, okay, Deepinder Goel of Zomato. He had told me something, and that is something till date I don't actually have an answer to. और सबके माइंड में ऐसे मतलब एक्सपेक्टेशन था कि मुनाफ कुछ मतलब he'll show everyone, he will prove why he quit Google. The 2 times that I went bankrupt, जब आपने वो क्वेश्चन पूछा मेरे माइंड में I was asking myself that question और एक लिस्ट बनने लगा. Work with my mother to take her outstanding food, my father's hospitality. While I'm saying all of this and it's taking me 10 seconds to say it, but this took me 2 years. He's going to build something very successful. But I did not.
Before we dive into the conversation, a big shout out to our partner LivTek India for making this episode possible. LivTek एक लग्जरी स्टेशनरी ब्रांड है जो आपके वर्क स्पेस को एक प्रीमियम टच देने के लिए परफेक्ट है. अगर आप क्वालिटी सप्लाईज अपने ऑफिस के लिए देख रहे हैं तो LivTek इंडिया को जरूर चेक करें. लिंक इज देयर इन द डिस्क्रिप्शन. इस एपिसोड को शुरू करने से पहले प्लीज़ इस चैनल को सब्सक्राइब करना ना भूलें, बिकॉज आपकी सपोर्ट से हम अमेजिंग गेस्ट ला सकते हैं जो आपकी लाइफ में वैल्यू ऐड करेंगे. और अगर आप इस वीडियो का ऑडियो वर्जन सुनना चाहते हैं तो स्पॉटिफाई पर हमें फॉलो करें. डू एंजॉय दिस एपिसोड. So Munaf, before we get into the making of the bohri kitchen, I want to hear about your journey as where did you grow up and something about bohri culture, because I believe कि अभी भी बहुत लोगों को बोहरी कम्युनिटी के बारे में नहीं पता है.
So Megha, I grew up in Gujarat. So actually no. So I came from Gujarat. My family came from Gujarat. My family actually came from Rajkot. And which is why my original surname was Rajkotwala. और मेरे दादाजी आए थे बॉम्बे में and he set up business out here and I was born in Bombay along with my 3 siblings. And the Bohri community which you are asking about, the Dawoodi Bohra community ये Yemen से आया था. तो ये पूरा community actually it's a Middle Eastern community. We came from Yemen. We migrated from Yemen to Gujarat, to the coast of Gujarat. And that's where the community became a little bigger. और फिर गुजरात से it went all over the country, to Maharashtra, to the south. There's even a Bohri community in Goa, etc. And now slowly, steadily, Bohris have even started going outside India.
Interesting. So I was in Bombay for a couple of years. I actually did my graduation from Jai Hind College and then worked there for a while in the PR industry. And now I'm back to my hometown Agra and doing this podcast remotely. So वो टाइम पर जब मैं बॉम्बे में थी मैंने कभी बोहरी कम्युनिटी के बारे में नहीं सुना था. एंड व्हेन माय पार्टनर एकता टोल्ड मी अबाउट इट, तो मेरे लिए ये बहुत न्यू था, राइट? तो एंड दैट्स व्हेन आई थॉट कि मेरे जैसे बहुत सारे लोग होंगे जिन्होंने नहीं सुना है. सो दैट्स व्हाई आई वांटेड टू स्टार्ट दिस कॉन्वर्सेशन विद दिस क्वेश्चन.
No, makes sense. So in fact, we used to invite people home to eat food made by my mother. और जब लोग आते थे, their first question used to be, what is Bohri? What is this community? So the answer to that question is, we are a Muslim community. So within Islam के अंदर, there are 2 communities. There are Shia Muslims or Sunni Muslims. So under the Shia sect, there's a very small community of Dawoodi Bohras. I think पूरे world में there must be 20 lakh Bohris, spread across India and other parts of the world.
Understood. So, coming back to your journey, I want to understand that you were an account strategist at Google, right? So, how did you switch from that to food? I mean, do you always wanted to do something of your own कि मुझे अपना खुद का कुछ करना है? Or one day you thought that this idea will be great or it's going to be a hit?
Uh, if only it was that easy. That one day I woke up and I had the courage to quit Google. Lekin it wasn't that easy. It was very difficult. जब मैं गूगल में था, okay, this was in 2011 to 2015 roughly. Uh, After 2 years of working at Google, being spoiled by Google, I became very good at my job, and I could get my job done in 50% of the time. So वो बाकी time में I used to itch to want to do something more. So I used to experiment with a lot of ideas. I actually started a lot of small projects, in that time. One of my projects was मैंने एक bumper sticker website बनाया called stickitandgo.com, जिसमें आप गाड़ी के पीछे डालने के लिए एक स्टिकर आप खरीद सकते थे. क्योंकि मेरा आइडिया था कि मतलब we spend so much time in traffic jams in Bombay कि if you're looking in front and staring at a car ka bumper, might as well see a nice sticker on it. So I started a bumper sticker website. And like that, one of the ideas that I started was the bohri kitchen, where the purpose was simply to work with my mother to take her outstanding food, my father's hospitality to the entire world. And also मेरे लिए एक opportunity था कि social media सीखने के लिए कि हम social media कैसे use कर सकते हैं business बनाने के लिए. Because at Google I learned how to use Google, how to run ads on Google, but I wanted to learn how to use Facebook. So the Bohri Kitchen was my tool to learn how to use social media.
All right. So, when you were starting a food business, it was more of an experiment or a tool for you to learn more about social media, right? But when anybody starts a business, say in some other field altogether, जहाँ उन्हें पहले से experience नहीं होता है, for example, you were in tech industry and you started a business in the food industry. Okay, so I'm sure you must have faced a lot of challenges in the initial stage. So I want to understand कि वो क्या challenges थे and how did you tackle them? Because a lot of people who are say in the corporate or service sector, उन्हें खुद का कुछ करना है, उन्हें अपनी जॉब में मज़ा नहीं आ रहा है एंड उन्हें जो भी कुछ भी करना है वो बिल्कुल डिफरेंट फील्ड में है. सो व्हाट एडवाइस यू वुड लाइक टू शेयर विद देम विद योर एक्सपीरियंस?
So first, I will answer your question. What challenges I faced? तो जब आपने वो क्वेश्चन पूछा मेरे माइंड में आई वाज आस्किंग माई सेल्फ दैट क्वेश्चन और एक लिस्ट बनने लगा. So I will tell you what's on that list. Okay, at least a few points जो मेरे माइंड में that came in my mind. Point number one, the challenge of quitting Google to pursue the Bohri Kitchen. Taking that decision, it was very difficult. Then the challenge of the first year when I had quit my job and I was doing the Bohri Kitchen full time. और सबके माइंड में ऐसे मतलब एक्सपेक्टेशन था कि मुनाफ कुछ मतलब he'll show everyone, he will prove why he quit Google, he will show everyone that he's going to build something very successful. But I did not. Okay, the Bohri Kitchen for almost 5 years was very small. It was an insignificant business. So उसका वो peer pressure का struggle काफी मतलब मेरे लिए it was very difficult. And the third and the fourth challenge is the 2 times that I went bankrupt. Okay, so twice in I think my fairly early life, I ran out of money to the extent that I had no money in the bank. So that was obviously difficult to overcome. The fifth challenge is how do you standardize my mother's food? Okay, so the Bohri Kitchen it became successful because of my mom and her food and her andas ka khana. which she cooks without recipes. Recipes ke bina, she would make the most amazing food in the world. And people fell in love with that food. But जब मुझे बिजनेस को स्केल करना था, मैंने डिलीवरी किचन्स खोले. और वो डिलीवरी किचन्स में my mom couldn't go and make the food, right? So I had to build teams. I had to standardize recipes. I had to find food partners to create shelf life stable food. वो करने में मुझे 2 साल लगे. That was very, very difficult. So yeah, so the challenges I faced with the bohri kitchen, I think, were never ending sometimes. But at the end of the day, I wouldn't do anything differently. There were challenges that were worth solving.
I like when you mentioned that you had peer pressure. I mean, on the positive note, because when I see people around who want to make a move or shift in their work journey, but आसपास जो लोग होते हैं उनके वो supportive थोड़े कम होते हैं कि बोलते हैं कि अरे इतनी अच्छी जॉब है क्यों छोड़ रहा है या फिर ओ माय गॉड आगे कैसे चलेगा तेरा आगे क्या करेगा तू सो they kind of demotivate you, right? But in your case, you had a very supportive bunch of people who had so much confidence in you. And I believe that this may have pushed you further to put 100% of yourself in this.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I also see that you've written a book, How I Quit Google to Sell Samosas. Can you tell us more about it? I mean, you opened the Bohri kitchen and you thought that this is something I want to tell more people about or inspire them. I mean, what was your initial thought?
So the book How I Quit Google to Sell Samosas, published by HarperCollins, it's been written by my wife and me. So both of us have co-authored the book. मुझे मतलब I always wanted to write a book on the Bohri kitchen. मेरे लिए the Bohri kitchen was a story. It was a story जो मुझे social media पे मतलब I wanted to share with the world. और मेरे माइंड में ऐसे एक आइडिया था कि एक दिन मैं ये स्टोरी को बुक में लिखूंगा. And actually now the thought in my mind is I will convert that book into a movie. So at the common denominator in all of this, in the Bohri kitchen, and how I built a story on social media and the book, and hopefully one day a movie, is that it's a story. It's a narrative. It is a story of a mother and a son who joined hands to take food from a little known community and make it world famous. And yeah, and that's so the book was always in my mind. And storytelling is something I just thoroughly love doing.
I observed that when I saw your TED Talk speech, and it was very inspiring. And that's when I thought that I would check with you on this. Yeah. Okay.
No, thank you.
So, my another question is that when you are in the service sector and you make a move and go to the business side of it, हमारा जो mindset रहता है वो दोनों जगह काफी different रहता है, right? So, as a businessman now, when you had made that shift, do you think that it has changed your perspective or you have learned and unlearned many things, especially in the food industry?
मुझे लगता है कि मैं जो था 10 साल पहले, before the Bohri kitchen, versus who I am today, are two very different people. I too think I have changed multiple times along the way. And the only constant in all of this is I will keep changing. And coming to terms with that is important. मैंने बुक में भी ये लिखा है कि you shouldn't fall in love with your idea. Fall in love with the idea of entrepreneurship. So fall in love with the journey. Fall in love with the fact that आपके पास एक opportunity है आपके idea को pursue करने के लिए और उसको एक logical conclusion, मतलब to take it till a logical conclusion. That is the exciting part. जो उसके बाद होगा कि आप फंड्स रेज करोगे, क्या आप मिलियनर बनोगे, क्या आप बैंकक्रप्ट हो जाओगे, क्या आपको जॉब लेना पड़ेगा, वो सब छोड़ दो, forget about it. लेकिन वो जर्नी of challenges, of ups, of downs, of adventure, of learning about yourself and growing as a person, that is priceless. वो आपको कोई MBA, कोई मतलब nothing else can give you that. Nothing you can pay for can give you that. The only way to pay for this is with your own time, and entrepreneurship is one way of using that time to unlock those experiences.
So, apart from Bohri Kitchen, I mean, you did not just stop here. Uske baad you've joined McDonald's as head of e-commerce, and then you moved to Zomato, and now you've opened a company called M2O Consultancy. So, I mean, one person. I mean, how do you manage all of this while establishing your brand, the Bohri Kitchen?
You're absolutely right. मतलब अगर आप the most important thing is you have to focus on the problem you're excited to solve, और उस पे laser focus करके आप solve करो. But I am not that kind of person. I am the kind of person who likes to solve 5 problems at the same time. And it's not a good thing always. It's a very bad thing because obviously, you'll go crazy. You'll get distracted. You'll run out of time. You'll run out of bandwidth. और आप कुछ भी ठीक से नहीं कर पाओगे if you try to do everything together. But like I was saying that in these 10 years, I've learned that I keep changing as a person. I've learned a lot about myself. One of the things I've learned about myself is that I need to do this. I need to work on multiple things at the same time. मुझे वो करने से creativity मिलता है. मतलब I get juice, I get energy. When I switch from food delivery and its problems to the Bohri Kitchen, which is a brand I've created. They're two very different things. M2O Consulting is a food e-commerce consultancy. वहाँ पे हमारा focus है to work with the largest restaurant chains, to work with marketplaces, to help make the food delivery ecosystem more sustainable, and to help it grow. The Bohri Kitchen is a very different thing. The Bohri Kitchen is a catering business today. It is running a food business. It's making food. It's building menus. It's convincing people to buy our food. Doing both these things at the same time, there is almost no overlap. But it does not go hand in hand. They're two very different things. But the opportunity to stop thinking about M2O consulting and think about TBK and vice versa allows me to reset my mind. And it helps me perform better at both projects, when I need to. So, years ago, very, very long back, when I had first met Deepinder Goel of Zomato, he had told me something. So he literally met me face to face for the first time. But I don't know, he made an observation which जब उसने तब बोला था मुझे लगा कि उसने ऐसे ही कुछ मतलब बोल दिया, just to say anything. But that observation might not have been completely wrong. He said that, Munaf, you are the kind of person who who is good at doing 0 to 1. You're good at creating a new thing. You're good at creating a PMF, a product market fit. You're good at, coming up with a new idea from scratch. But the question is, are you also good at 1 to 100? Which is, are you good at then scaling things? And that is something till date I don't actually have an answer to. One challenge with working on multiple problems at the same time is you can only get from 0 to 1. Yeah, but how can you work on 5 problems at the same time and take them from 1 to 100? So yeah, so that's a journey I'm going through right now, and I'm understanding about myself.
So, we are already seeing your journey, and we can relate to the first part of what CEO of Zomato mentioned, that you have a creative bent of mind and how you thought of starting a home kitchen, making people aware about your community, and turning into a thriving business. And not many people would have thought of or would have done this, right? So, tell us how this brand grown from a small home kitchen to such a big name. शायद मुझे और मुझ जैसे काफ़ी सारे लोगों को कुछ टिप्स मिल जाए. I mean, my mom also makes yum Punjabi food.
Wow. So the Bohri Kitchen ki shuruaat. Okay, it started with just inviting people home. So it did not start off as a business. So we started with just an idea that we want to invite people home. हम घर पे लोगों को बुलाएंगे and they will get a chance to eat my mother's food, whatever she feels like cooking. And we will serve it in a traditional way on a bohri thal, one course at a time. And as I kept doing this, as customers kept coming, as people kept sharing amazing feedback and reacting to this food, I kept on making that experience more exciting. I even built a storytelling element around that experience. And वैसे वैसे करके the Bohri Kitchen का name spread because it was never, we were not trying to sell more seats. We were just trying to, we were testing out an idea and seeing how people react to it. Yeah, and in fact, it was very exclusive. We would have to say no to a lot of people. So वैसे वैसे करके the brand became very popular in Bombay. It even became popular in Bollywood. So a lot of Bollywood actors came, celebrities came, VIPs came, politicians came. And then I was like, okay, now I need to make money out of this. Okay, how do I justify quitting Google? So मेरे mind में idea था कि food delivery करेंगे because you made such a good brand. Now let's monetize it through delivery. So I set up, so I raised money, I raised funds from some very good investors. With their money, I standardized the food. I made a pan-India supply chain. I made it shelf life stable. While I'm saying all of this, and it's taking me 10 seconds to say it, but this took me 2 years to do. Setting up the first kitchen took me 6 months. Then it took us almost another year and a half to totally set up 5 cloud kitchens and take it to 200 orders per day. So at our peak, the Bohri Kitchen was selling 200 biryanis every day on Swiggy, Zomato, and other channels. Yeah, and that was pre-COVID. COVID was very hard on us. I almost gave up because that was my second bankruptcy. And I was going to shut the business down. But then my team said that, you know what, Munaf, you take a break. Take a break from the Bohri Kitchen. Let us manage it. We'll make it, we'll consolidate the business. We'll make it smaller, but we'll make it profitable. और आप जाके कुछ और करो पैसे बनाने के लिए. And that's what I did. And then I got an opportunity to work with McDonald's. So at McDonald's, I led the delivery business. I did all of that. And that's the journey that I started for myself. But the Bohri Kitchen in the last 5 years, it's evolved. तो वो पहले home dining experience था, फिर एक delivery kitchen बना. Then we ran out of money during COVID. I was going to shut it down, but it forced my team to pivot. और एक catering business बन गया. And now it is a semi-successful, very profitable catering business. And now we have money to again decide that, okay, what do we want to do with the Bohri Kitchen? Uska abhi next step kya hoga? And that is the stage I'm at. Like, मुझे वो home dining experience वापस शुरू करना है, लेकिन मेरे घर पे नहीं. हाँ, तो I'm literally looking for a new home for the Bohri Kitchen.
Wow. Another experience and all the best. And whenever I'm in Bombay next, I absolutely need to try and experience the Bhuri Thal. So speaking of thal, I want to understand, is there a set menu as you've standardized the dishes and everything? और किसी
please do.
सीजन के हिसाब से और स्पेशल डेज के हिसाब से मेन्यू चेंज होता रहता है. फॉर एग्जांपल होली पर गुजिया रहती है, दिवाली पर कचौरीज रहते हैं. तो इन सिमिलर वे मेन्यू में चेंजेस आते हैं.
नहीं, हमारा खाना, our food is very contextual, बहुत seasonal है. For example, winter के time पे menu will change completely. There will be a lot of lasan in the food. We'll make lasan keema bedu, stuff like that. Similarly, during Eid, during any celebratory events, we have certain dishes which come to the fore. The menu हमारा बहुत dynamic है. Like when we used to do the home dining experience, the menu completely dependent on my mother's mood. Or my father's mood, okay, because my dad was responsible for the supplies. So he would go to Kulaba market, whatever he would find out there, which he thought was up to the mark, वो घर पे लाते थे और फिर उसके हिसाब से खाना बनता था. There used to be a time when we used to decide last minute what will be made, even after customers have already told us they're coming to eat the food. So So yeah, the menu is very diverse. In fact, it surprises a lot of people that there's a lot of vegetarian food in our menu because lot of Gujarati influences, undiyu, patvelia, dal samosas, dal chawal palida. A lot of amazing food.
Okay, so it has a lot of Gujarati influence as well.
Yes, because the community it came to India via Gujarat. So for example, we make a mutton undiyu. Yeah, yeah. So lot of Gujarati influence.
So another thing I wanted to understand is that हमने आपकी बहुत सारी पिक्चर्स देखी हैं कि बॉलीवुड स्टार्स आर कमिंग टू योर प्लेस पॉलिटिशियंस आर कमिंग टू योर प्लेस एंड दे आर enjoying the home kitchen, the bohri food at your place. And I'm sure this must have inspired a lot of people in the community. So ऐसा कुछ हुआ है कि किसी ने अपना बोरी रेस्टोरेंट स्टार्ट किया है? Yeah, similarly, like yours, they have opened up a home kitchen or something like that.
So I mean 110% because the Bori kitchen ke baad, the way home dining experiences exploded in Bombay or in India, the number of pop-ups that have happened, not only within the Bori community but outside the community, I think has been incredible. Like when people, like so many home chefs would reach out to me. In fact, so many home chefs reached out to me that I had to create a WhatsApp group for home chefs, where we would just discuss best practices and systems and ideas. Or to 10,000%. Yeah, like when people saw that one mother and son can get together and build a brand out of their house and make it so popular, everyone was inspired. And they should be because the talent that the Indian housewife has because of just what she has inherited and what she's learned, from her ancestors and the communities and the cultures that are there in our country. Uh, it's priceless, and I think every home chef out there should try their best to give it a shot. If they're passionate about cooking, they enjoy the food, they enjoy feeding people, and they want to make some money out of it and build a business out of it, they should give it a shot. Just copy paste what we did at the Bori Kitchen. Try your best.
So you were listed in Forbes 30 under 30. Want to understand what impact did it have on your career and even the Bori kitchen?
So Forbes 30 under 30 के time पे basically it saved my business. So जब मुझे वो call आया, and I'll try to say this in Hindi. Okay, तो जब मुझे वो call आया, मैंने already decide किया था कि मैं business shut करने वाला, because वो मेरा first bankruptcy था. First time I was bankrupt was exactly around that time. लेकिन फिर मुझे एक फोन कॉल आया एंड फोन पे they told me that congratulations Munaf, आपको Forbes 30 under 30 के लिए सिलेक्ट किया हुआ. और मेरा रिस्पॉन्स काफी फनी था. माय रिस्पॉन्स वाज दैट क्या आप श्योर हो, क्योंकि मैं बिजनेस बंद करने वाला हूँ. लाइक आई एम बैंकरप्ट, आई एम अबाउट टू शट डाउन द बोरी किचन. Like, won't it be weird if you put me on the cover of Forbes magazine and the magazine will come out 6 months later, after they do the photo shoot and everything. और फिर उन्होंने जो रिस्पॉन्स दिया, जो भी I don't remember who it was on the call, but their response was so amazing. They said that Munaf, we are not putting you, हम आपको कवर पे इसलिए नहीं डाल रहे क्योंकि आपने $1 million बिजनेस बनाया हुआ है. हम आपको कवर पे डाल रहे क्योंकि आपने जो किया हुआ है वो काफी सारे लोगों को इंस्पायर करेगा. और उसके लिए हम आपको, like, we want to spread your message, we want to inspire more people, and that's why we are putting you on the cover. You don't have to raise $1 million, you don't have to be worth $1 million, but you might have influenced 1 million people. So for that we are putting you on the cover. और उसके कारण, because I knew I would come on the cover a few months later, और मैं इतना embarrassed था कि मैं cover पे आऊंगा लेकिन मेरा business will be shut down, that I decided to continue the business. And when I decided to continue the business, I said that, chalo, I will do it differently this time. So the things that I was not paying attention to, accounts, I wasn't paying attention to the cooking in the kitchens. I started paying attention to it, and that led to the turnaround of the bohri kitchen at that time.
I mean, काफी उतार चढ़ाव रहे हैं आपकी जर्नी में. Whenever you thought that this is not happening or you felt like giving up, तब या तो आपका support system बहुत ज़्यादा strong था, or you received recognition from such a big platform like Forbes. So I believe that it's the universe way of telling you or rewarding you for taking that bold step. Right, because it is very important for us to have that courage to take that first leap. And I'm sure it was not easy for you to uh, leave Google and start this business, but even during tough times when things were not right, you took that chance, and because of which things started to fall in place. वो कहते हैं ना कि जब आप कोई चीज दिल से करो, दिल से चाहो, तो पूरी कायनात उसे मिलाने में लग जाती है.
नहीं, but this is very true. मेरा जो बिलीफ है, जो आप अभी बोल रहे हो, in destiny and in faith and in forces that kind of come together to help you in manifestation. Acha, I was somebody who wouldn't believe in these things at all. Today I do. I actually believe in them. I like some of like the way in which my life has gone up and down, and when it's like hit the lowest point, how suddenly everything's turned around, and sometimes when I'm at the highest point, how suddenly it falls down. The only lesson in all of this is you have to kind of enjoy it. It's like a roller coaster, you know. The question is, are you at least going up? And that up doesn't have to mean money. That up doesn't have to mean, like, is your car getting bigger? That up simply means, do you feel like every day you're learning a little bit more? Every day you're coming up, matlab you're coming closer and closer to your purpose, to even understanding what is your purpose. And I can say that with 110% certainty कि अगर आपने मुझे 10 साल पहले पूछा था आपका purpose क्या है, versus if you ask me today, like 10 years back, I would laugh at you saying, what is all this? ये purpose क्या है? Lekin aaj agar, if you sit with me, we will need a separate podcast where I will need 1 hour to take you through what is my purpose and how I'm trying to achieve it.
I'm sure we will have another episode with you on this in the future. Okay. So I am also from public relations background, and when we were doing our research, watching videos and reading articles, we found a lot of media placements, especially in midday for the Bohri kitchen. So we understand that media has played a big role in promoting the brand. So want to understand, how did you approach marketing and what strategies work best for the brand?
So I basically wrote a playbook for myself on organic marketing, where I did not have money to spend on marketing, and neither did I know how do you reach out to the press, what do you do, etc. So whatever I did instinctively. मैंने मेरे हिसाब से जो भी मुझे लगा कि वो सही था, I did that. For example, I never reached out to the press; they would reach out to me. But when they reached out to me and they asked me 100 questions, I realized that maybe if I can make their job a little bit easier, they will be able to write a bigger article, a better article. So मैंने press release लिखा. तो एक छोटा सा business, barely inviting 10 people home, I made a press release. So it actually wasn't a press release; it was a press doc. So I created a Google Drive folder. I put all my best photographs. I put all the FAQs that the journalists had, everything and anything I could. I would keep updating it, and whenever they would finish the interview, I would send them this link saying, "Hey, listen, if you need anything, feel free to use the material in this," and they would love it.
So unknowingly, knowingly, you just did the PR job and made it easier for the media person as well.
Yeah, so they would love it. Point number one. Point number two, I would amplify press. I would acknowledge journalists. I would treat them as human beings who are doing me a favor. I would respond to questions in a very, very authentic manner and very spontaneously. Like, as a rule, almost I would discourage them from sending me questions in advance because I want that spontaneity to show in the answers. I would like, matlab, if I make a mistake, I wouldn't take it back. I would apologize. Like, basically, the entire way I try to build the Bohri Kitchen, its brand, I would position it including how I handle PR, was done by design organically. Because I noticed the ROI on that, the likelihood of that getting picked up, the likelihood of that getting shared, the likelihood of that even going viral was phenomenal. And something as simple as sharing broadcasts with people on WhatsApp, but doing it in a very methodical manner, and even in a manner that the person who's receiving it finds it less spammy and more funny, paid off. And literally that is how I built the Bohri Kitchen, its brand, and I kind of just worked with press.
So, before I go to my last question, I wanted to do a rapid fire round with you. So, are you ready?
Let's do it. Let's do it. Yeah.
All right. So, what's your first go to comfort food?
Butter chicken.
Your favorite restaurant?
So there are many. I really like Bombay Canteen. I really like Gajali. Um,
Okay.
I'm going to say my favorite restaurant lately is this restaurant called Ustadi in Bombay near Crawford Market. I don't go there. I order from there a lot because I order the butter chicken roll.
Your favorite dish to cook, if at all you cook?
Oh God. There's no dish that I cook that should ever be called favorite. But I mean, my answer to that question is nothing I ever create qualifies as a favorite dish because I'm a terrible cook. It is a skill that I hope to build, if not for my own sake, at least for my wife's sake. Yeah.
If you could have dinner with three people, who could they be?
Wow. All right. I would like to have dinner with. Hmm, I would like to have dinner with political leaders. Okay, for sure. So I'd be very interested in having dinner with our current Prime Minister Narendra Modi. I would be very interested in having dinner with a leader of opposition, Rahul Gandhi. Like, so anyone in a political position that I could talk to about certain ideas I have on how to kind of contribute towards governance. So would love to eat dinner with political leaders and hear from them as well about the challenges they face and how they approach their work, their job. Uh, Number two, I would love to have a meal with who else? Uh,
It
uh,
could be anybody.
I don't know why, but my nephew is coming to my mind. So Zayan, yeah, but still, because I just so he lives in San Francisco, uh, and he's a couple of years old, and I've spent no time with him. It's as good as zero time. So I have fantasies about just spending time with him, getting to know him as a person, and learning from him. Because in my entire family, we don't have anyone else who's that young. Like we don't have any other babies in the family. So I'm very excited to spend time with Junior Kapadia. Um, and the third person, anyone in the world, I could have a meal with. A lot of names are coming to my mind. Elon Musk, for some strange reason, is coming to my mind. The Dalai Lama is coming to my mind.
Do you follow Buddhism?
No, but I just like the concept of Buddhism, and I like what he represents. At least tries to represent. But I think I would like to have dinner with J.K. Rowling. All right, so yeah, I would, because she's a like with what she did with Harry Potter is just phenomenal. Like the way she built that story and narrated it, and the impact it has had on people's lives. Well, I'm sure everyone talks about it and acknowledges it, but I actually think it's impossible to acknowledge. No story has ever been written, in my opinion, which is more powerful than Harry Potter. So I would just like to have a conversation with her about that, about the lady behind the story and what led to, like that. Yeah.
One dish you can't live without.
Butter chicken again, but but chalo, for the sake of not being monotonous and trying to give a different answer, another dish I cannot live without. Um, I think a good cup of tea. A week without tea, and I will get weak. Yeah.
Favorite food destination you have traveled to?
Hmm. Hmm. Delhi. Okay, so I stayed in Gurgaon. Yeah, I stayed in Gurgaon for 7 months. The mutton we've eaten, I don't eat mutton. I don't like mutton. I'm not a fan of red meat. I fell in love with red meat when I stayed in Delhi. The Gulati kebabs, the Kakuri kebabs. Oh my God. My wife and I, we just like, I mean, before I moved to Delhi, everyone would argue with me that, Delhi versus Bombay, the food scene, it's so different, but I accept. Delhi's food scene is 10 times better than Bombay.
Food paradise, right?
No, no, of course, yeah, it's on my list.
Okay, this was fun. And my last question is there anything exciting coming up for the Bori Kitchen that you would like to share with the viewers?
Just watch out for the Bodhi Kitchen. We're entering our third phase now. Okay, we're going to complete a decade in January. So the next 5 years, I think, are going to bring a lot. We're going to restart home dining experiences. Um, we will, I believe, have a movie on the Bodhi Kitchen. I am hopeful of that. And I think the team behind the Bodhi Kitchen, not just me, but the other folks who are actually running the business, I think they're going to evolve and build this business out into something bigger and even better than I ever thought I could build it.
All the best wishes, Munaf, for the third phase of the Bori Kitchen. And thank you so much for joining us today. It was great chatting with you.
Thank you, Megha. Thanks for having me.
I would also like to urge all the listeners sitting in Bombay or outside Bombay to check out the Bori Kitchen for some amazing Bori food. Also, big thanks to our partner LivTek India for making this episode possible. Until next time, stay healthy, stay happy, goodbye.